And I searched and I searched and I could not find anything that fit the bill until I found this. And that's what we have right here. We are talking about a knife that is like 2.3 ounces. Look at how thin that is with the scales, which I love. I love this little minimalist sheath. Again, I am not carrying this knife, okay? Now, they do sell Kydex sheath versions as well, too, but I don't carry this. All it's going to do is it's going to ride here in my Ziploc bag, tucked away in my little field kit, and come out when I need it. I put this on here so that when I take it off and I pull this out, I can hang this right on my pack so I don't lose it. Okay, but nice little minimalist sheath that does lock in, and it does keep this knife in there tight. It's not coming out. You're not getting it out of there, but it protects it. So we have that sheath I was real happy with. Here is the knife itself right there, okay? And this thing is MAGNACUT steel. And we got a 3.9-inch blade on here. And this thing is super thin. I will put the specs in here for you, but you can see it is very thin, very slicey, which I like. And even the handle scales are very thin as well, too. I love that. So, but you can see we got a very similar blade shape to this. We also have it as a very similar blade shape to and size to that SE3, but way, way lighter, okay? But, you know, like half the weight, and much thinner in design, as you can see on here. So it had a lot of benefits. Same with this. Again, one of my favorite knives I own. And you can see I like the shorter handle of this a lot more than this extra long handle I don't need. But, and same thin, slicey blade. A lot of advantages to this one. This is the one that kind of came closest to fitting the bill. It is balanced well. It is lightweight. We already dulled this. You'll see it here in the video in a minute, but I took this ceramic coffee cup and we took this thing down to duller than a butter knife, and then we resharpened it, and I did it in like a minute and a half, and I resharpened it to razor shaving sharp with just a ceramic rod, and you can see the hair missing right here, which you'll see it in this video in a minute, but it was cakewalk easy because I carry a ceramic rod right here in my kit. That's the ceramic rod I carry and sharpen everything with in the field. So I don't want to have to fight and mess with diamond and all that kind of stuff in the field if I have to sharpen something. This knife fit that bill perfectly. So it gives me that. Now, it is not a cheap knife, but nothing made out of MAGNACUT is. Everything made out of MAGNACUT is going to be, you know, somewhere in the $150 to $250, $300 range. This is a one of the super steels, okay? But this is supposed to have the edge retention that's way up there above 1095. It's going to have the edge retention closer to like 3V and stuff like that, which is amazing. And you got durability and strength and toughness to it, and you have ease of sharpen. Plus, I have tremendous corrosion resistance in this too. So it is kind of the best of all worlds, yet easy to sharpen for me as well. So we're talking about an absolute beautiful knife. The cost of this one was $220 was what this knife cost. And they make it in a smaller 3.3-inch version size. Hogue does on their website, made by Hogue, USA made knife. And I wanted the little bigger one again so that I can actually stroke through that hide. I can work that thing a little quicker with a little more swipe surface than on something that is smaller like this, where I got to do more of this kind of cuts, or more of I wanted something that I can actually, you know, lift that hide and I can really push through it. I can lift up that hide from the spine and really rock a good cut through there and get it going. And I like the size of this, okay? I like that. And when I'm coming up underneath the hide, it's just going to be nice to be able to run that and work that even through that. Hides that are that thick sometimes on these hogs, I can work that and get it going pretty good, rather than here it's more of a do this like it was with my Havalon. It's more, with a Havalon, it's more slice, 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 slice. You can try to go, but you can't get far. Slice, slice, and it gets annoying. This one is going to give me that option to literally rip right through there in one stroke, is what my hope is. So we will see how this does, but it's amazing. Now, it's also the most expensive knife that I currently own right now. Yeah, it is. I mean, this is not a cheap knife, like I said, at $200. But then again, on the same note, one of these will cost you $130. You know, I don't know what he cost for these. These are like $180. These are $175 or something like that. So, you know, here, this one's $150. This one here today this is $180. So, I mean, it's not like it's that unreal of a number to pay. for a knife like this, but I am very excited about how lightweight this is, how slicey and thin it is. I'll show you that again. I'll bring you in closer and show you. But I got a lot of high hopes for this knife, and this little minimalist sheath is perfect, and this whole thing fits right inside my little Ziploc bag and just drops right in there like that, and then boom, I am set, and I have my kit perfectly set, and my kit right here ready to go with my game bags, my gloves, my wet wipes. Everything I need is in here, and I love the fact that the sheath is wash-outable. Okay, with all these ribs in there, it's very easy to wash this sheath out and clean that. That is a huge factor, where on a lot of my other ones, you know, you get stuff in there, you got to really fight to get crap out of there that gets buried down in there, fat, any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, especially like any of these, it's brutal to try to clean that out, especially sealed shut. So they make for a nightmare on that stuff. This sheath system, I straight up and excited about it. There it is right there. Pretty awesome little knife. I'll let you know what we think after we're using it, but MAGNACUT steel has proven itself very well. This knife has been proven pretty good, and this G10 that they have on it, this is by far the grippiest knife surface I have out of all of them. Even if you take something like this Guardian 3.0 here, this on there where it's all checkered out and looks really cool, this does not offer, this grip on here is not 1/3 as tacky as the grip is on this. And this one here is good too as well, but you can still, you slide on this rubber grip. Very nice. This is not as grippy as this. This is, it feels almost like a sticky sandpaper, and it just bites and holds even when wet. Yes, I got it wet under my sink, but this is very, very impressive. So let me spin the camera. I'm gonna bring you in, show you some close-ups of it. Then we're gonna show you how I dulled it and how quick it was to resharpen it, so you can see what I'm talking about with this MAGNACUT. So let me kind of reframe you here a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna just come over here and do it. So here it is, close-up of it with the sheath. So you can see the setup. You can see the grip texture on that. Just perfect. Let's pull the sheath off. Here it is right here as far as blade. Let me get it to focus. There we go. Just a sweet, sweet slicer. Look at how thin that blade is. Okay, I mean, that is amazing. Look at how thin the scales are. 2 ounces. This thing weighs 2 ounces. Very, very impressive knife on every kind of level. Super thin, super slicey, exactly what we're looking for here. So very impressive knife, very impressive. Love these little notches right here. You feel that, you can choke right up on it if you want to. You can see it's not a very big knife, okay, but yet it's big enough and perfect size and shape to do it. So there you go. This is basically what we're thinking about trying here, and it's going to replace my Havalon. So Havalon is no longer needed, and realistically, this is less than weight-wise than this kit is. So this here weighs a lot more than what this does. So, and size-wise, not much different. Nice, flat, look at the difference here. But this here is way heavier than what this is. So very impressed with this. I'm excited to use it. Yes, like I said, $200 is not cheap by any means, but you know, it could be a knife that I could use the rest of my life, never have to worry about. I've been using this particular Havalon, is like I said, this one is done over 100 and something animals without a problem. So it's not like this is a knife that I'm going to beat up and wear out and ruin. This knife will just live in this kit and be used when I'm actually working animals, and it's going to work perfect for that. So that's our setup. So what we're going to do with this dude right now is see what it's all about and how it's going to be to resharpen it. So here it is, straight factory edges on this thing. Again, MAGNACUT steel. I mean, we're expecting phenomenal, okay, and we're getting phenomenal. So that's a very good thing. That's very, very nice. However, that factory, I'm going to end up resharpening it sometime. So we're taking a ceramic on the bottom of this, and we're going to see what happens after 10, 7, I don't even know what number I'm at, so we're going to just keep going a couple more. But we're going to see how this is, because this is ceramic. This ring here is ceramic that's on here, and you can actually use it to sharpen a knife. But we're curious. See how we're doing here, okay? And that did it, okay? And that would do it to anything. That's done. That is completely dulled out. That's gone. To be expected, okay? It's going to do that to any knife. What I want, and that's why I use ceramic, what I want to know is how hard is it to put this back together, to bring this back with this MAGNACUT. So we had an amazing edge as we saw. We have no edge whatsoever now, none. I mean literally none. So now what do we get? What's it take to put it back? Let's see. I'm hoping that it's pretty reasonable. So let's just see here. This is how I sharpen every knife I have. I got a system here, but first thing I got to do is bring a burr up on one side. We did not set this profile by using my belt sander like I would do. I'm hoping this angle's probably pretty close to what I'm at, so let's see here. Okay, so we're not getting much done there yet. Let's hit this side, see where we got this rollover at, and see what we can fix with it. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. That's good. Because, I mean, I'm not a fan of super steels usually. Okay, they're very difficult to sharpen, but this MAGNACUT's supposed to hold an edge very, very well, yet be able to pretty easy to sharpen. Not as easy, anywhere near as easy as 1095. And we are using a ceramic rod, which is my preferred and my favorite, because I can be very sloppy with this, and it still works because it's not so aggressive. But we're curious to see what it's going to take, so let's see here. We're getting there. All right, I already got bite. I got good bite. I got real good bite and a burr forming. That's impressive. Okay, that is very impressive. We're going to control that a little bit more now. Okay, good bite. All right, we're going to bring this side over so we get that same thing going on over there. But you hear all these people about how you got to use these heavy, diamond stones and all this kind of stuff to sharpen all these super steels, and I don't want that. That's what's so much interesting to me about MAGNACUT, is it gives you all those properties without all the BS. We got it on that side too. Is it all the way? It is close. It is definitely there. Slow that down and control it. And we're going to bring it back on this side. I can feel it. We got it. We're there. That's nice. That was pretty quick. Did not take that much after being dulled out to completely butter knife dull on a ceramic. And we are brought it back in just a minute or two on ceramic rod. That is very impressive for this steel to be able to do that, and for the edge retention properties it has. Okay, no knife made today, I don't care what it is or what kind of steel it is, could survive that test I just did. You don't believe me? You take your very expensive SV90 or any of your kind of steels that you got and see how that does on it. It's going to kill everything. Okay, and that's exactly why we did it. Okay, but we are getting there. Feeling it a little bit more on this side. Now, this is not how I'm going to do as far as perfect, but we are going to be there like that. And let's see where we're at here. See, that's already shaving sharp. I can already look at that. I can peel, look at that, shaving right off with just a ceramic rod. Completely shaves that right off. Perfectly there. You saw how quick that is. This is probably getting somewhere already, and it is. Then what we would do is take this when I'm ready and throw it on here and go through here, and I do all my stropping, and I would strop it, and then I'd strop it on denim. I take this leather block if I want leather, and then I also put this, and I put my block inside my denim like this, and I fold this over just so it gives me that flat surface, as I prefer it sometimes over my thigh, depends on the steel. But then I can have that on there, and then I can do my final denim stropping on here and do all of this, for it. But we're not going to do all this in the field. So my important factor was, with a ceramic rod, I carry a smaller one with me in the field. Had I used this and dulled it out completely, how quick could I bring it back to life? We just proved that we can bring this thing back to wicked, scary, razor sharp very, very quickly, and we're having this paper's about done here, but we're having zero problems getting it there. And again, this is not stropped, but this is sharp enough that I can shave hair and I can continue processing animals with it. Very impressive with the sharpenability. First time I ever sharpened MAGNACUT in my life. First time I ever handled a MAGNACUT knife in my life. And that was pretty cakewalk easy. I am very, very impressed with that. Like I said, I would put that right on the same sharpening level as about what 3V is, because I have 3V knives. It is definitely not as easy as a 1095, but a 1095 gets dull much, much quicker. And it sharpens much, much quicker. Trade-offs to everything. What I want with this knife is I want longevity of edge retention, yet on the same note, knowing that no knife steel is good enough to maintain through some of doing a whole animal sometimes without having to be resharpened or whatever the case is, or sometimes I have 2 animals on the ground. There's good odds I'll need to resharpen this in the field. So I want long edge retention, but I also want ease of sharpenability. I think this MAGNACUT gives it to me, as we just proved. That's what we were after. And we're going to cover the reason for it here to start with. So that last hog I killed was a very big hog. And keep in mind the temperatures down here are very hot. So it was 94 degrees. I got a hog on the ground. By the time I actually start to work on this hog, we're already an hour and 20 minutes into this whole ordeal. Normally I can bone a hog out in about 30 minutes and have it in the bag and be hiking out of there. This one took me almost an hour and a half to actually get the work done. I dulled out 3 Havalon blades doing it because of the shield on this hog, and it was like trying to bend plywood, trying to lift that hide and get it done. Took me much longer time, and with that Havalon, my strokes had to be much smaller in fighting with that and the hide and fighting with everything on there. Even to make my ring cuts, it was a lot bigger of a process than I anticipated. So we lost a lot of time there. Plus all that weight in a pillowcase trying to carry it out, I lost a lot of time there. I was getting nervous by the time it was almost 4 hours by the time I got back to the truck with that hog. So knowing that, I needed to speed some things up. So I thought, and I realized when I was doing that hog for the first time, I've done probably 120 animals with a Havalon Piranha knife, with just that I carry here in my kit. This is my kit I carry, and I use this exact one, and I have done, you know, a ton of animals and boned deer and hogs out with that right there. And it's done well for me. But on this one here, with the speed I was trying to go, I kept snagging the back of the blade with hook, and it'd stop and it'd pull the blade off, and I'd have to put it back on, and I was dulling the blades out. And again, with just that little bit of cutting surface, there was a lot more of this rather than being able to lift that and run pretty good. It gave me some fits, and I feel that it slowed me down some. And again, with the heat down here in some of these circumstances, I wanted to try something different. So I went to my collection that I got, which is mostly 1095, because I'm a huge 1095 EDC knife guy. Huge fan of 1095 for survival stuff or for anything I'm going to do. I love 1095 steel. 1095 isn't going to make that a faster process for me. So I thought about it. We could have used something like my Azula. Okay, Azula is an amazing knife. I wanted something bigger. Love the blade shape of an Azula, but it is also 1095, and that I didn't want to do. Something like my SE4, bigger blade, nice, but that's way too big of a blade, even at 4 inches. That's way bigger and heavier than I wanted. I don't want to carry this thing to process animals. This one here, you know, this is the CMP3V, one of my all-time favorite steels, and right here in this little Pendleton Mini Hunter would have been great as well too, and it's nice and light, and I thought about that one kind of fit my bill. We got more amazing ones, the Travis style hiker. This is another one, perfect blade shape, perfect design, nice and thin, little slicey, little thin, perfect thing, but again 1095, and I wanted something that I don't have to sharpen when I'm out there if I can avoid it. We have a White River right here, my wife's White River Caper, and this is S30V, and I hate S30V. This stuff is very hard to sharpen, and the edge retention is good, but I don't think it's better than some of the other ones like 3V, so I don't like this knife. She loves it, and that's fine, but I don't trust it if I have to resharpen it in a field. S30V is a nightmare for me. I had my Bradford right here. We got the Bradford and M390. M390 is also a very good steel. But a little more tricky for me to sharpen as well too, and it's a perfect blade shape. I really like this. So this one here was my main 2 options I was interested in carrying, but again, heavy, okay? This one is heavy. Now that also led me to this is Tina's, but her SE3, also 1095, but again, love the blade shape, but heavy, big, heavy knife, but that blade shape, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Something slicey and bigger, and that I can push through more and I can move faster with. And that was going to be an option there too. Also have my other, this is my second. I always carry one on me, but Travis Styles, amazing. His knives that he makes. This is the amazing Minuteman's. My first one, this was actually a prototype before he even started offering them. And then here's the finished version that he offered and started selling people with a little more belly on it. But this is, you know, these were amazing. And I have 2 of them. I thought about taking this. Perfect size knife. Again, a little bit of weight, not bad, but in 1095. And then we had the amazing one here that was probably going to go, which was the one that was made for me by Donnie Wilkinson over at Creekwalker Trading. But the problem is he doesn't make them too much anymore, and I don't want to use it. Plain and simple. This knife means a lot to me. This is a very valuable knife to me, and I don't have knives that are safe queens or anything like that, but this one, for all practical purposes, it is, and I'm all right with that because I want to keep this knife in good shape. So I was kind of limited on what do I do. So I started searching, and I looked all over the internet. I searched for days on everything that there was and looked at all the new things out there. MAGNACUT steel had come out recently, and not recently, a couple years ago, but it was the one steel besides M3 or CMP3V that I was interested in outside of 1095. So when I was looking for a steel with edge retention and ease of sharpen, that one caught my attention. I do not like S30V. I do not like S35V. I do not like S90V. Okay, and they're not bad. For me and how I sharpen, they don't work for my system very well. So I thought, let's try the MAGNACUT, okay? So I was after the MAGNACUT, and I was looking for a similar, very, very light, very thin, as you can see, very thin. I wanted, because this is not, I'm not batoning this knife. This is a working animals only knife. So I wanted something very thin bladed. I wanted something out of MAGNACUT steel to try it, and I wanted something that was about this size and profile as far as blade shape and design to it. There it is, right there, sweet and easy. This is gonna go right in my pack, and we're all set. Thanks for watching.